These showrunners, these producers, these writers are like, we have a lot of things planned for season 4, and the fandom did a collective head thrown back and laughed in their faces, honestly, because right now they're getting dragged on Twitter and Tumblr and Facebook and pretty much everywhere else on the internet about how badly they fucked up and have been fucking up since season 2. I mean, yeah, there was some problem with season 1, but you know what? Season 1 was a nice, solid start to finish piece. Well, and season 2 and season 3 just so lackluster. I mean, honestly, the finale is again very anticlimactic, and season 4 is not in their future. It's not in their future. It's not in the cards for them in the fucking slightest. They barely got a season 3. They barely got a season 3 in the first place, okay? The only reason they got a season 3 was because of the fans campaigning for it. They campaigned all the way through saying, please renew Sleepy Hollow. We know the writers can do better. We hope the writers can do better. Please renew Sleepy Hollow. And it was a very, very long time until it was confirmed that Fox will be renewing Sleepy Hollow. So that's the only reason they got a season 3 to begin with. Because it wasn't them. It was because they redid the whole last few episodes of season 2 after they saw how shitty the ratings were. Because they sidelined Abby's character and bumped her into this sidekick, role. So yeah, you're not getting a season 4 because Sleepy Hollow is just not popular. It's not popular. It doesn't have that fan base that a lot of other shows have. I remember when they said, oh, that Ichabod and Abby are a slow burn. I laughed. I said, that only works with popular shows. Michonne and Rick, yeah, because people are still going to watch Walking Dead because it has a huge following. So a slow burn there worked, and it was satisfying in the end. Sleepy Hollow, you don't have a huge following like that. So, and you declined ever since season 1. So I don't know why you thought that would work, because you're not popular. You're not what's popping in these streets, in these sci-fi fantasy streets. So a lot of the cast seems to come and go. Like, Sleepy Hollow will introduce someone and then cut them out, even though they seem like an alright character or an interesting character. They got rid of Frank Irving for what? I don't know. And that was a big misstep in their part because Orlando Jones was the fandom's most... was like, out of all the cast, he was the most engaged with social media. Ugh, I can't even talk anymore, I'm too mad. He was the most engaged with social media. He was the one who was encouraging fans to do their fan art, fan fiction, make all the gifts and do all this stuff. Yeah, he was the one who was really, really encouraging them, encouraging us, I should say. See, I've already detached myself from this fandom. Yeah, he was the one who was encouraging us the most. Also, besides him, who they just took away, there was Luke, Abby's ex-boyfriend. He just left in season 1, never to be seen or heard from again. And it was like, did he die in season 1? What happened to him? He was Abby's ex-boyfriend. You think she would feel something or like say something, mention anything about the fact that her ex-boo thing has disappeared. Like, what happened? Like Joe Corbin, what was the point of killing him off? Honestly, them killing off Joe was just, it was just for shock value, honestly. It was just for shock value. There was no point of killing him off because there was just no point. I don't see what the big deal was. Headless Horseman, they got rid of Headless Horseman. It's Sleepy Hollow. You kind of need the presence of the Headless Horseman and Ichabod. Like, duh. I mean, you could just write him better instead of making him this whiny crybaby. nice guy because he was upset that he didn't get to be with the woman who rejected him or whatever. Like, come on. The writing's very corny. The writing's very weak. And it was saved by good actors. Abby Mills, Nicole Bahari. She played that role really well. She's a Juilliard trained actress, okay? And same with Tom, same with all the cast really. You had Peter Mentor, you had John Noble, you had all these different people, John Cho. They saved this show with their acting because the writing was really lackluster. I mean, with season 2 and season 3, when you had the Monsters of the Week, it dragged on for way too long. Especially with season 3. It was like Monster of the Week almost every week without no build up to the big bad. All season 2 and 3 big bad was just so, it was so anticlimactic. Nothing big. I didn't feel the high stakes that were raised anyway. It wasn't high stakes. The writing was just very meh. Their world building in Sleepy Hollow is definitely not the best. It's not the best. And you can tell that these writers don't really have a lot of experience with working in genre television shows. Because 3 seasons, what is a witness in this universe? Can someone tell me? I put this question out to the fandom. I was like, what makes a witness a witness? What makes Abby and Ichabod different to everybody else? In season 1, I thought a witness could see demons or, you know, have a sense of the supernatural presence that was around. And as they grew stronger in their bond, they would develop some type of abilities. That never happened. I mean, seriously, season 3 and they're shooting at ghost creatures. It's like, oh my days, get a freaking sword. Get a magically enchanted crossbow or something, you know? Get an enchanted gun, like, supernatural. Like, do something, because it's really, really funny seeing Abby and Ichabod shooting a non-corporeal ghost. It doesn't make no damn sense. So, there's that. Also, what makes a witch in this universe too? Because Count Trina was the most Mildred Hubble of all witches, even though they gassed her up to be someone like Hermione. Yeah, she was the worst witch. She could barely perform a spell, and even in her weakened state. But the thing is, Abby, Jenny, and Ichabod all managed to perform spells. So what makes a witch? Is it just saying spells? Is it being an immortal who is telekinetic? Like, I don't understand what makes a witch in this universe. So we don't know what makes a witness, and we don't know what makes a witch. I mean, even in the Sleepy Hollow Wiki page, you know, the fandom wiki page, the witnesses don't even have their own page. Like, witness. A witness is somebody who's blah, 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 blah. The abilities they possess is this, and that. And it's like, okay, I feel that they should now be able to spit fire and turn lakes into blood and stuff, because isn't that what it says in the Bible somewhere? Like, I did a quick Google search and that stuff was coming up, so it's like the witnesses could do that. You know, I read fan fiction where someone's put that there. Has offered better world building than this show ever did. What else? Things get retconned too much. Things get retconned way too much. Like, this whole Sumerian tablets prophecy thing, and the ending one especially of the eternal soul. So the witnesses are like Buffy. They're like the Slayer. With every generation there is a new witness. How come that didn't work for Ichabod when he died? Like, it's really, it doesn't make any sense when you start thinking, when you start dissecting this world apart and building up the rules, what makes this world stick together. It starts crumbling. This whole universe starts crumbling because there's no real sense of a world here when it comes to establishing the elements of Sleepy Hollow. I mean, really, like, when did the witnesses become Doctor Who? When did the witnesses become Avatar: The Last Airbender? When the soul, like, I don't know how this resurrection thing works, but it doesn't really make any sense. And I feel that it should have been they should have mentioned it, because there was no build up to it. It was just the most like, like very, very, very meh. Also, the writers said they felt stifled by the whole Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse thing. And that made me laugh, because it's like, you never even introduced all four of them. All four of them was not shown. We've only seen all four riding in Ichabod's dream. It was only war and death that showed up, and briefly pestilence. There's so much places they can go with this whole Book of Revelations, Revelation storyline. I mean, they barely touched on angels. I mean, how can you feel stifled by that? You have so many places to go. The town of Sleepy Hollow itself, the backdrop where Abby, Ichabod, Jenny and everyone inhabit, it feels like a ghost town. It feels like a ghost town because Abby is what ties us to the modern day Sleepy Hollow, and because they chose to sideline Abby, they made this town of Sleepy Hollow look like a ghost town with no one really there who they can say they care about. In the comic books, Abby had friends outside of work. We never see Abby's friends in this show. So when the apocalypse was at their heels and Team Witness was like, nobody messes with our town. We're going to go to war for this town, but we're going to save it because, you know, it's ours and, you know, this is what we do and, you know, no one messes with Sleepy Hollow. And it's like, okay, but like, okay. It was like, yeah, I guess, you know, like there is no Sleepy Hollow. There is no townspeople. Mystic Falls from the Vampire Diaries feels like a very lived in town where people interact with different people. What else? Who else? Bon Tom's in True Blood feels like a real town. What's the other places? Sunnydale feels like a real town. Storybrooke feels like a real town. You know, these places feel like a real town. Sleepy Hollow felt like a ghost town where just a few people were walking by. Like, there was no real ties, real connection. We never saw Abby, like, doing her groceries or, like, chatting with friends or just going about her daily business. You know, there was nothing. There was no, like, town festival thing. In season 1, you can see that they were building that, where there were people like the Four Who Speak as One and the priest in the pilot episode who had these magic powers and was like doing this metal bending against the Headless Horseman. But really, there's no Sleepy Hollow town that's real. The town doesn't feel like an active place. And without Nicole Bahari now to kind of like shield the many fuck-ups of this show, all the fuckers just become even more apparent. Especially, like, I read the 5th season. I read the fifth season, and then after reading it, I went to go and watch Sleepy Hollow. And it was, wow. 5th season by N.K. Jemisin, the best world building. She slays at world building, okay? And then watching Sleepy Hollow was like, wow, this is absolutely jarring. You know, even like watching Steven Universe. They could learn a thing or two from Steven Universe, you know? They could learn a thing or two. So yeah, this show ain't getting renewed. This show ain't getting renewed. This is the last thing. If it does, you know, it'd be funny if it does get renewed, just to watch it fail. You barely got a season 3. You ain't getting a season 4. You're dead. You're done. You're out of this. You're gone. Bye. Bye, ho.